temple of justice.
For anyone on the bench of the Nigerian judiciary, this chamber is the ultimate.
Let us all strive to maintain the independence of the judiciary so as to ensure the rule of law.
And the fact that the ministry is responsible for prosecution of cases makes the ministry very visible naturally.
Of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Nigerian Bar Association.
If it is to buy time, you know who is buying time.
Becoming the first woman in the country to discharge the function. To me, Allah wished it that way.
Welcome to the program, The Scale of Justice.
Tune in every Monday at 2:05 p.m. and repeat broadcast comes up every Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. on the network service of the NTA. Keep a date with us.
Hello, this is The Scale of Justice, that program that dissects all the happenings in our justice sector in Nigeria. I'm Femi Okewu with the pleasure of welcoming you to this edition. The Supreme Court is yet to fully leave our radar, but this time we are going for a ceremonial event, not the judgments that we've been having in the last few weeks. It is a ceremonial event that pays due tribute to the contribution of a jurist who has served the Nigerian bench for about 4 decades now. I'm talking about Justice Kume Akas, who retired from the Supreme Court some weeks back. A valedictory court session was held in his honor, and it is to show his contribution to the justice sector in Nigeria. The Scale, of course, will not miss out on such a significant event. And so we start today's program by paying due tribute to the contributions of Justice Kume Akas to the growth of the law in Nigeria through this valedictory court session that was held at the Supreme Court.
This is the last court sitting to be attended by Justice Kume Akas as he takes his place among retired justices of the Supreme Court upon his attainment of the 70 years retirement age from the bench. The occasion afforded opportunity for the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tunku Mohammed, the body of senior advocates of Nigeria, and the Nigeria Bar Association to x-ray Justice Akas' impact on jurisprudence in Nigeria.
Honorable Justice Akas' retirement today has depleted our ranks and opened a yawning gap that will hardly be filled. His charismatic disposition and unflinching commitment to the cause he believes in have literally conjured an aura of an enigmatic personality around him. We all rejoice with him on this special occasion.
As we gather here today to celebrate the retirement of this erudite scholar and seasoned jurist, we must of great importance reflect on the enormous contribution made by his lordship to the development of our judiciary and overall legal system. I therefore find it peculiarly fascinating to commend the efforts and the outstanding achievement recorded during the active service years of my Lord. In the light of the foregoing, I wish to state that I am indeed glad and proud to celebrate my Lord, Honorable Justice Kumai B. Akas, as he bows out of the bench. Indeed, the entire Nigeria will miss your laudable expertise, judicial activism aid aimed at promoting the cause of justice and contribution to the Nigerian legal profession. For this and other commendable achievements, our nation will remain forever grateful to Honorable Justice Kumai B. Akas. Indeed, posterity must irrepressibly continue to acknowledge his lordship's landmark achievement.
I knew him from a distance as a counsel that appeared before him amongst his brother justices, where he was a member of the panel. At all material times in his career, during which I appeared before him, I found him as a God-fearing, outstanding, erudite, and principled jurist.
The valedictory court session also enabled legal practitioners to x-ray critical issues in the legal profession.
If His Lordship was to go back to memory lane to tell us whether the judiciary he is leaving behind today enjoys the same respect, honor, and dignity as it enjoyed when he first joined the judiciary years ago, I am not in any doubt as to what the answer will be. In the days before the military coup in 1966, the judiciary was accorded the highest recognition and honor in Nigeria. Judges were well respected and held high in all circles of society. Their orders were respected and obeyed by everyone, including the colonial government at all levels. There were clear signs of a disciplined society where the rule of law flourished and the rights of citizens respected and upheld. The story today is totally different. The society of today is one where indiscipline has taken firm root, such that judgments and orders of court are treated with disdain. The measure of value in our country has changed. Name, honor, good reputation no longer counts. As such, no longer count as such. What counts nowadays is wealth and political power, no matter how procured in the society of today. The honor and dignity of judges is therefore relegated to background for no just cause. Desperate politicians are mounting roadblocks on the path of the rule of law. They are doing all within their power to replace the rule of law with their own rule for their own selfish interest.
The blanket condemnation and disdain, condemnation of and disdain with which we hold the judiciary and our judicial officers, mostly by officials of government and by some lawyers, is totally undeserving and condemnable. We do great disservice to this army of hardworking, dedicated, and upright judges when we irresponsibly malign and impugn their characters because of possibly an infinitesimally small, unidentified number of them that we suspect, or it is alleged, may not be walking in the straight and narrow. We disincentivize this army of incorruptible and uncorrupted jurists when we disparage them and their characters, and by extension the entire Nigerian judiciary, purely because decisions of the courts sometimes do not favor us, or the judges do not make decisions in the manner that we would like them to, or in accordance with the dictates of some agencies or persons, and we falsely perceive these to be motivated or influenced by some corruptive relationships. The facts do not bear out such malicious assumptions. We indeed destroy the foundations of the rule of law and erode the independence of the judiciary when we attempt to intimidate, harass, and blackmail upright and outstanding jurists with these untruthful postulations.
We realize that their job is very delicate and it's a lot of hard work. And as judges, they are meant to be immune from the society around them so that they don't get tempted. And if a retiring judge is afraid of his future post-service, it could be some incentive for them to look for assistance in some other place. So I think a total welfare package will be good for them.
The retiring Justice Kumar Yakas, went down memory lane on his judicial career.
Many are honest, only a few. And it is that few that gives the judiciary a bad name. But I appeal to government that they should not tar the judges and show them to be bad people.
Born in Kara Town in Kaduna State, Justice Aka's law career included stints at the Kaduna State Judiciary, the Court of Appeal in Calabar, and the Court of Appeal in Lagos. He was elevated to the Supreme Court in September 2012, from where he retired. Olabodarewa.
Now let us just say that the Supreme Court, the justices of the Supreme Court, continue to deplete in number. The constitutional provision for the Supreme Court number should be 21, but at no time have we, in the history of Nigeria, been able to attain that figure. And with retirements and here and there, I think Nigerians do know, and particularly going by the workload of the justices in the Supreme Court, Nigeria should be expecting some replacement in the weeks to come in terms of appointment of justices of Supreme Court. Now, next we go to the issue of mentorship, which we started to address in our last edition. You remember we have been talking about the dear need to keep mentoring younger ones or giving direction to those who have been practicing law and helping them to attain their optimal level in the practice of law. One law firm did just that some days ago. It is the J.B. Daudu law firm that gave an event to show its appreciation to the contribution of the head of the chamber of that law firm. We talked to the person involved, Mrs. Hadiza Mary Usman, who decided to take new steps in her career. And we see how this is going to impact on the contribution of other up-and-coming lawyers in the practice of law.
When I first joined the firm, I had a lot of reservations, and he always encouraged me. I would say, no, this is what I want to do. He would say, try this. He pushes you. And over the years, he molded me, he watched me, and he noticed, this is where her strength lies. Let me push her to do this. I'm grateful, and I'm forever be grateful.
We're at a time where the legal practice is in very dire straits, in which the profession is at its lowest ebb. For those of us who saw the profession in its glory days, it is nothing to be, there's no basis for comparison. It is indeed a very big shame and embarrassment that those who are in control of the system witnessed how these things were done properly in those days. We have allowed the love for money, the lack of respect for decency, fairness, for justice, for our traditions to becloud our sense of responsibility. Today, apart from Corporate Affairs Commission, there's no other place for the junior to go, and the place is overpopulated. And hardly would you have collected whatever you would make there than the mama put next to the Corporate Affairs Commission will collect all from you. But the economy is not there for the lawyer to enjoy himself. The police briefs you used to get, if all failed, you get an overnight. They're not there because the police settle these things. They say the DPO is the branch manager. And so they sort these things out. It's only when the man cannot pay. Or find a rare case of somebody who says, if you like, kill me, I'm not going to. Or a big man intervenes to say, you must charge the man to court. So, for the young practitioner, what is the remedy? How has the security situation helped? Honestly, the travails of legal practice is enormous. But society must first be restructured before the legal practice can follow suit. We urge us all here to keep steadfastly to the principles and the ethics of this profession, wherever we may find ourselves. If Hadiza, you end up in the bench, I can vouch for you. You have a long tradition of how to behave and how to ensure that things are done and that your watchword should be justice.
And on the next segment, you know that in Nigeria, we are also very quick to jump at initiatives that succeed in other climes. One major thing that helps these initiatives succeed is not just in the attraction of these laws and initiatives, it is in the discipline of the usage of the laws. There is a thought now in Nigeria that seems to want to encourage the use of the jury system in our justice system. Now, you know that the jury system is a system where a number of people in the society are invited to assist the judge to arrive at his decision on mostly criminal cases. Now, these independent members of the society and reputable members are invited to sit with the judge and hear the cases and then arrive at a judgment, and then which the court adopts. That is the jury system. But then in Nigeria, it is the judge alone that sits. At best, at appellate level, we find a panel of justices, 3 in the Court of Appeal and 5 or 7 in the Supreme Court that sit to adjudicate. Now, a seminar was held in Nigeria to see whether a jury system can be introduced in this country. And so let's take a contribution about that jury system.
The judicial system, among others, entails the incorporation of adversary citizens into legal system in the determination of cases before the courts. In this instance, the jury guides the judge in taking objective decision by examining the presented facts from multiple views, making it the people's court.
Situation in which you have 12 men of reasonable background, in the sense that they are people who represent strata of community, who have a sense of fairness and justice, who are rational, preside and decide over the facts of the case. They will hear all the evidence and then say to themselves, which is the truth? decide on that, and then let the judge decide, guide them in the law, and then on the basis of the facts or the decision of the jury.
The bill, I think, is open for debate. It's not very much known in Nigeria because the system we operate is not based on jury system. But for us who are supporting this government in the fight against corruption, all options are on the table. And it is because of this we feel whatever proposal anybody has that can be discussed by Nigerians and people who are experts in the area should be discussed, should be sent out to Nigerians. Let's discuss it, let us discuss it, let us debate it, and we hope eventually it will add value in the fight against corruption.
The jury system is people's justice system, and I think it should be supported for very serious cases. It's not for every type of case. It's very expensive, but in terms of output, it's obviously a better system than a single judge decision-making process. So I think the citizens should support it, especially for trial of serious cases like corruption, kidnapping, terrorism, and some kind of heinous crimes like rape and other sexual violence.
Seated here are the experts who review the proposed bill for jury system in Nigeria and are optimistic that its introduction will not only enhance integrity of justice administration in the country, but also fast-track justice dispensation. However, this participant has contrary opinion.
I believe that we don't need it. We have sufficient infrastructure on ground, legal infrastructure, which if we only develop those, we will be able to cope very well, and the system of criminal justice will be more efficient and effective. The present system will work well once all stakeholders are effectively sensitized and they key into it.
Whatever the views are, there is the belief that the harmonization of the proposed bill will open a new vista in the country's judiciary. Deborah Agbola.
And finally, we take our tidbits.
The Center for Social Justice, Equity and Transparency has approached the State High Court in Kaduna asking for an order to stop the spokesman of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, Ibrahim Musa, from publishing a book on the 2015 clash between the IMN and the Nigerian Army. The Federal High Court, Abuja, has given the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, the go-ahead to temporarily freeze the sum of $376,120 linked to Major General Hakeem Oladapo Otiki, who is currently standing trial at the Army Court Martial.
Yes, that's the much we have for you on the scale of justice today. I hope we have been able to take you around all the events happening around and help you to understand the thinking in the justice system in Nigeria. Of course, this thinking will never dry out, and they will continue to come up with new ideas and new contributions. And you can trust that the scale will always be on top of them. We'll see you in another edition.